Okay, quick disclaimer. I would like to say I would be standing for this, but all you would see is from here down. So I'm going to sit for my pleasure and for you to see. But here's my mom, and here's my sister, both over the age of 18. So that way I don't get points deducted. All right. So, when people hear the term trophy hunting or big game hunting, people will often intend to be against it. That's understandable. Why would someone want to kill an animal for sport? But I'm here to tell you that it actually helps protect and preserve different forms of wildlife, from rhinos to lions to leopards to cheetahs to elephants and many more. Yes, an animal has to die for all these animals to live, but a few animals dying to keep a species completely alive, in my opinion, is the way to go. As horrible as it sounds, but it's the best way to go. They often bring in millions and millions of dollars just for a few animals to be killed. Yes, it seems to be contradictory that animals are dying to save animals. That's understandable. No one wants to kill an animal to save them. And as stated by Jason G. Goldman, a majority of hunters, about 86%, told researchers that they preferred hunting in an area where they knew that a portion of the proceeds went back to local communities and to wildlife conservations. This is very good to help these animals, because bringing in this money for the communities helps often motivate other local communities to reintroduce these animals back into the wildlife to basically generate more money for their community. But it helps bring these more animals in, more revenue in, and they're basically a entrepreneurial investment. As again, as horrible as it sounds, but it is indeed the best way to help keep these animals alive. And as stated by Ryan McMacken, legal trophy hunting creates an incentive for entrepreneurs to preserve endangered species. Like I just stated, since the trophy hunting industry makes these species valuable as investments. Money from the trophy hunting goes towards wildlife conservation. Lots of people who think trophy hunting should be banned should know that money goes to communities and to these conservations, which then brings in more of these animals and keeps them from dying by killing them. Contradictory, like I said. It also depends on funds generated by these hunters. These hunters are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars just to hunt one animal. Yes, it's bad. There was a big outrage when a hunter killed Cecil the lion back in 2015, because this was a 12-year-old male lion that everybody had been studying and loved. Even if they never got to be around it, they all loved it. And because this one hunter, I will leave the hunter unnamed, even though he's already named online, because this hunter killed that one animal, everybody went into outrage saying trophy hunting is bad, even though that money that he paid, 50 grand, to kill this lion went back to the community and to these conservations, as awful as it sounds. The reason why we turn to trophy hunting to save endangered species is because of loss of habitat and poaching. These are major problems in Africa and many of these countries. Because of loss of habitat from farming from local communities, they're pushing all these animals out of their natural habitat and basically forcing kills on animals that should not be dying, because they're coming back into the farmer's land, killing their livestock, and then the farmers are going on to kill these animals because they're killing their animals, which is not good because it's forcing more deaths that need to be there. It is a very vicious cycle, as stated by my mother sitting next to me. Poaching is one of the biggest problems, because in places like Vietnam, 4 rhinos were caught, which was $650,000 in U.S. money just for their horns. because they go for like $100,000 per kilogram, and each rhino horn weighs a few kilograms. Because in Vietnam, it is believed that rhino horn cures cancer. It can help with hangovers and several other diseases, which is very, very bad because all these animals are dying for no reason because this does not help these illnesses and these pointless things from drinking. And for concluding on my speech, trophy hunting is a very good way that helps endangered species stay alive and helps them procreate and stay in our society, and it helps them from dying from poachers and loss of habitat. Thank you. My name is Richard Davidson, by the way.